With applications, the application opened today. So exciting. So there is a link on Handshake. It'll take you to an external link, a Qualtrics survey. And we have really simplified things, and we have one application for both positions. So we want, if you're interested in both, so you've heard from Meet, he's held both roles, he's on both teams currently. It's definitely doable, and so we've made it super easy for you to check which team you're interested in joining. And the application process is fairly straightforward, mostly just trying to get a sense of what your commitments are and what your life looks like on campus and off, but really trying to keep it straightforward, and then we get to know you more during the interview. And the applications are due on November 1st. So you have an entire month to work on it. I am going to pass it back to Bailey to talk through the interview process and what that will look like.
Hello, back again. The Compass interview process is 2 parts. So the first part will be the group interview. And so here you'll obviously be placed in a group, and your team will have 2 activities, and they're all based on team building. And so the times for these are on the application. And the group interview is really a place where the head staff and pro staff get to see what kind of leadership skills you possess and just kind of how you work on a team. And it'll also give us a sense on if you're going to be invited for the individual interview process. So then that leads to the second part, which is the individual interview. And this is the invitation only. So we base the invitations off of the group interview. And this is more of the traditional interview style. You'll be in an interview with pro staff and head staff, and we'll be, asking questions, and you get to ask us questions. But yeah, and then you will be given notice during mid-December when fall semester grade checks come out, because Brenna mentioned that GPA requirement. So everyone has to go through that GPA check, and then you'll get notice on if you will be offered a position on the team. So that's basically the rundown of the Compass process. So I'm going to pass it on to Jess and Meet for the orientation process.
Alrighty, so the orientation interview process, it's typically 2 to 4 people at a time. There are a couple of steps of it. So individually, you will be presenting a presentation to the HOLs in summer, and you're given a prompt. You don't have to come up with it on the fly. You can prepare in advance, and it's orientation related, of course. Then as a group, you're given scenarios, and that, again, we know that you don't have training for it, so we don't expect you to answer everything perfectly, but we just want to get a feel for how you react in certain situations that could happen at orientation, and just sort of see your beginning leadership styles and the beginning group skills and stuff like that. Obviously, these will be built on with the LDR class. And there will be one-on-one time in the interview with the HOLs and the assistant director. So each person in the room gets time individually to answer a specific set of questions for the HOLs and the assistant director.
And if you're wondering who the assistant director is, it's Summer. That's who it is. But also on the application, there are times for interviews. So on there, you want to be hopefully you're as flexible as you can be with those times, because we want to be fair to everybody that applies. And then also, just like the peer coaches, you will get noticed on a job offering in mid-December after those grades are allowed, to make sure you meet the requirements of the good standing with the proper GPA. And yeah, also it seems very, like, the presentation part may scare you. Don't freak out. I was terrified when I first applied, And look at me, I'm here for year 3, coming in as an HOL. So we're doing good. It's not as scary as you may think it is, and that's with both interviews. And I've been through both. So just to reiterate.